I want stretch goal rewards in Final Fantasy XIV. Think like completionist content or collection content that really takes someone an extended period of time to complete. An example of the rewards that we could get would be something like this PvP armor for completing all of the Shadowbringers relic weapons. Which with the name Shadowstalkers, the tire coffer, I think would be very appropriate. Stretch goals in general, I think is something that we lack for the large part in Final Fantasy XIV, and I think that it could actually really motivate a lot of people to pursue stuff like older content. Take for instance clearing all Savage Raids from Heaven's Ward with minimum item level, no echo, and then we're going to give you a particular special mount or particular special title. And yes, I mean all the way from A1S to A12S, no skipping like A3S or anything, clearing all of them minimum item level, no echo. To be really honest, when I first saw the Cruise Chaser mount, yeah, honestly, that was my first thoughts on what it was going to be. I saw the Cruise Chaser cross Reddit and I thought, oh my god, that is literally going to be the brand new mount to reward people for clearing minimum item level Savage Raid content with no echo. I'm probably going to say that a few times in this video, aren't I? I'm going to actually restrain myself. In my mind, I saw this and I was just like, perfect, they're finally adding this reward for this kind of completionist content. And as we all know, that baby ended up in the cash shop, which while I try and keep a very balanced viewpoint and try and stay open-minded about it, I'm honestly at the end of the day not fully happy about it being in the cash shop, in spite of some people leaping down to my comments to chastise me, completely missing what I literally splattered across the screen with very vibrant Christmas colors. I'm not happy about it, and it really sucks because when I saw that and when I got excited about that, I really thought that that was going to be what was happening. And so I'm not happy about putting to bed my minimum item level no echo A1 to A12S clears as a completionist content. I really thought that that was going to come up, and I didn't want to do a video on it because it was purely speculation, and I'm always scared to do that because people are like, well, you don't know shit. And I'm like, can't a guy dream? Can't I dream a dream? Apparently not. I look at this from the perspective of a relic hunter that enjoys completing all of the relic weapons, as you've seen excessive amounts of that on this channel. Completing an entire set of relic weapons from any expansion, from step 1 to the final step for every single job in 14 is an extremely arduous task. This isn't going to be something where it's just like, oh yeah, this month I'm going to do it. It's like, okay, I have like 5 months to do all this stuff. It's very arduous, even with the nerfs. And I mean, people can be like, oh, that's not technically like hard content, but I'm gonna kind of flip it on your head and say those micro optimizations, like basic things like doing your rotation correctly, going into Delubrium Regune party finder groups where everyone's expected to use the best essences, and really dumping older content post 12 Taco Bell burrito style on Blue Mage. I'm sorry, but I really think that when it comes to like a time efficiency factor, that yeah, you definitely need to put your best foot forward, or it's gonna take you like way freaking longer, to say the least, like a lot longer. But speaking about dump string and dumping all over like old content 12 Taco Bell burrito style, nothing is ever going to beat the feeling of joy that I get when I one kill murder that fucking frog. Fuck that frog. I mean, it's going to get a little repetitive when I say this, but to me, really, as a player, a long-time player of Final Fantasy XIV, this is actually a real problem to me, and one that I really do want to see solved. I look at things like World of Warcraft, where they have like time walking, with time walking rewards, and I mean, while World of Warcraft versus Final Fantasy XIV, I think especially with the mass exodus from World of Warcraft to Final Fantasy XIV, that yeah, Final Fantasy XIV does treat its older content a lot better, but I think that in general that we still can go a few steps further. It's just like, just because the system is better, and I love our devs, oh my god, please do not misunderstand, I love our devs so much, but I think that it can be taken a few steps further where we can really incentivize players to tackle this kind of content. And I think the Blue Mage does stand as a testament to the 14 developers' will and passion towards revitalizing older content, and I really do believe that they have, because Blue Mage in the past, I do remember making a video that someone actually recently commented on, and yes, I do read my comments, but they were just like, haha, this aged like spoiled milk, and I'm like, you know what? You're right, and I'm glad it did. You know what? I am never going to like how to say it? I'm not going to back away from what I said, but when I'm wrong or proven wrong, or when things are going to change over time, which happened with the Blue Mage, I am going to say I'm wrong. And we saw amazing things like new titles, new minions, new mounts, like the Malboro mount for doing this Blue Mage completionist content, and it came to the point where Blue Mage is now something that does revitalize older content. In fact, I'd even argue that it revitalized newer content, because as I just said, Blue Mage really made grinding out some of the Relic Weapon steps like, oh my god, guys, as someone that did all of the Relic Weapons, it probably literally saved me days, literally days, just because I did Blue Mage. Literally days. It was well worth it. But I'm kind of digressing from the point, so I'm going to veer right back. When we're talking about stretch goal rewards, I mentioned briefly in my last video that I had a problem with some of the reward structures from Final Fantasy XIV, and when I said that, I really did mean it, because I've been hammering away on my website, and as I was like coding things, I was thinking to myself, son of a, why is that not a reward for doing that? And it's like, I'm kind of upset. It's not, it's like you didn't do those raid clears and minimum item level blah blah blah. Like, it's just like the Cruise Chaser mount should have been, in my opinion, the start of different stretch goal rewards. In my opinion, it would have been the perfect segue. This literally, Cruise Chaser was one of the most single iconic fights, and progging A11S was amazing back in the day, and to see it in the cash shop has a lot of people riled up, and you know what, it does include me. While I can see the pros and the cons as I explored back then, me as a player is a little disheartened that it's just like, oh my god, that could have been like the minimum item level no echo clears. Like, that could have been amazing. Similar amazing rewards could be something absolutely stupid and amazing, like take a giant alpha mount if you did minimum item level no echo Stormblood raids all the way from 1 to 12 and cleared all of them. Then you get this giant, like, malformed alpha mount. And I even have the flavor text for it. Alpha's body was distorted and changed through the power of the Delta Sigma and Alphascape into becoming a super huge chocobo thing. Now this comically monstrous Alpha can be ridden around Eorzea and even fly. Though don't ask the flatulent details of how he can fly. If you want to inspire people to do those raids like that and kind of like a stretch goal, I'm sorry, that would work. I guarantee you that this would get eyes on that content 100%. It would be so stupid and so amazing. Which gets me circling back to the Relic Weapons again now. Like, every expansion has had its own set of Relic Weapons. We are currently at the point where we have a Realm Reborn, Heaven's Ward, Stormblood, and now Shadowbringers. That is 4 different sets of Relic Weapons, and a lot of players, especially new players with the influx of World of Warcraft players, don't even think about that. They're like, oh, Shadowbringers Relic, because honestly we have been, as a community, largely silent on the past Relic steps, so people are just like, oh, there's only 1 Relic Weapon, and it's like, no, we're at the point where there's 4, and going into next expansion there's going to be 5. But one glaring omission for every single set of Relic Weapons is that there was never a reward for completing and getting all of these Relic Weapons. Sure, it can be a point of pride and self-accomplishment because it required a lot of time and effort and dedication, and I don't think you'd be really finding any player that would dump on it because it does take time, effort, and dedication. But there isn't like some final reward, like a mount or a glamour or a title even though I don't really like titles. Dudes, you've seen my content enough. I don't use the title. If you see me in game, I don't use the title. If someone has like my name and they don't have a title like on it, or I mean they do have a title on it, it's not me. That's the first way that you can write anyone off claiming to be me. I don't use them. So I'd honestly prefer something that was more tangible, like a mount, or honestly, in my opinion, since glamour is the true endgame, I'd really, really love it if I got something like this Shadow armor, the Shadowstalker's armor set. If this was a reward added into like the game for completing all the Shadowbringers Relic Weapons, that's a huge time investment, and I do think that it's worth it. I think that that is also a valid thing, because in order to get the Relic Weapons for all of them, you need everything to 80, every job, which is an insanely large time commitment. Then you need to grind out all the weapons. That again is an insanely large time commitment, and I do really genuinely think that it would be much more healthy for the game as a whole if we did things like add stretch goal rewards, like the past raids, past Relic Weapons, current Relic Weapons. I think adding some kind of incentive, whether it be glamour or whether it be a mount, would be very rewarding to players. Honestly, I don't like titles, so stay away from those, but yeah, this has kind of just been on my mind, and I'm hoping for everyone to like give their thoughts on this, because I think that this would be something that would be hugely rewarding. Also, I really do want that PvP Shadowstalker's armor set, so give me please.